Yo, what's up? Welcome back to another episode with Links with Chink, episode 24. We still moving, we still popping, and having fun with it, man. I hope everyone's doing good. Hope you guys' holidays been okay besides the shitty weather. Don't know how to make up his mind. You know what I mean? It's crazy. It's Michigan for you.
That is Michigan.
It is Michigan. Mm-hmm. Go blue.
Go green. I gotta get my go green.
I had to say that. I had to say that. 'Cause I know a little background, you know. Yeah, today we have a guest with us that specializes. Well, you have many different type of specializers, right? Or do you just kind of specialize in upholstery?
Pretty much, mostly upholstery. Yeah.
So his specialty is upholstery, and he's here to get into behind it, and where it all started and where it all began. You want to tell us a little bit about yourself, like who you are and how long you've been in the game?
Yeah, my name is Stan Cavazos. I've been doing upholstery since 1998.
Oh, okay.
Professionally.
That's a long time.
But before that, I was just doing little things at home on my own. And once I put my first convertible back window in out of necessity, and you know how that is, the mother of all invention is, how necessity works.
Right.
But once I put my first one in the Mustang, I just started doing other things on interior stuff. And then a buddy of mine through bowling actually got me the job at Kaufman, where I've been since 98. So it's been 27 years.
That's a long time.
Oh, yeah.
That's a long time. Yeah. So this car that you started on, was it your car or a family member's car?
No, it was my Mustang.
It was Mustang. Yeah. First classic or one of your first classics? Or
yeah, well, at the time, you got to remember when I did that, it was like 93 and the car was an 85, so it was still kind of new.
yeah, right. Back then, yeah.
Yeah, but I sold that like 2-3 years ago, so.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I had that car all this time. And I got this job at Kaufman because I needed a top on my car. And I wanted the discount because it was expensive. But, yeah, 27 years later, I'm still there doing it, and I know I'm appreciated. So
right. So why upholstery? What? Okay, so yeah, you got your car, right? But you could have easily brought it to someone to do it for you. You know, that could have crossed your mind.
Yep.
Instead, you was like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna jump into this, learn this myself."
Yeah.
But you also could have done it and be like, "All right, I did what I can and move on." But something told you, "Let me get more into it. Let me fucking start stitching."
Well, when I got the job, it was because I needed the job. I didn't have one at the time.
Okay.
So I didn't really know a whole lot about professional upholstery at the time.
Gotcha.
But like I said, I needed the job. Then after a while of doing it, I learned to love the job. And then after so long, like a couple, 3 years, it's like, this is what I do every day. So I'm used to it. And I got into it. And, that's not without challenges, though, because every year manufacturers change the way they do things. And we bitch and piss and moan about a lot of shit, especially Audis and Volkswagens. But
but you adapt to it.
Yeah, you adapt to it. You have to. I mean, and with that comes more tools, because you got to have specialized tools for all of these things. And then you got to deal with airbags. And now cars are being made more and more technologically advanced. So you got to have computers to even talk with some of these cars. Now, you pull the seat on some of these cars, it triggers an airbag light.
Oh, what?
Yeah, bro? So you have to hook the computer up to it to reset that.
Oh, shit.
They get worse.
Yeah.
And better at the same time.
So the material is also a different game in these cars too, right?
Absolutely.
And is it more expensive material, or do they get cheaper to where shit rips faster, or is certain material that you can't find?
It's both, because sometimes they'll come out with a new material that's supposed to be leather-like. And
it's cheap as shit.
Exactly. It's cheap as shit, the double rubs. And that's one thing that not a lot of people know about is the double rubs of material. That means how many times you can double rub it before it rips.
Oh, okay.
Your cheaper materials are 10, 25,000. But now they have some material that's 2 million double rubs before it actually ripped. So the material technology is getting a lot better.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So when someone comes to you with that type of newer material, whatever, and they want something cheaper, because I mean, when you customize and the thing they want to customize, you can't go buy that material, can you? To replace the material they already have, that type of 2 million, you said?
Well, you can in certain colors.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
so that it's a limited, and
yes,
when it comes
absolutely,
to colors,
absolutely, it's very limited. Otherwise, you have to go with whatever came with it factory, which we also have a source for that.
Now, what years are them? Does that material start at, and what years or what cars?
For the 2 million double rubs,
Yeah,
none of the manufacturers are using that yet. No.
Oh.
No,
so it hasn't came out yet. Then
it's out.
It's out,
but it's not cost effective enough for the manufacturer to use it in their vehicles. And not only that, we live in a disposable society now where they don't want your car to last.
No, hell no, they don't.
Yeah, no, they want it to break down so that you get rid of it and go and buy another one.
True.
Yeah. So
yeah. So, when you're doing upholstery, is it more than just the material, but it's the stitching that you got to have a lot of detail, or like precise stitching, precise way of stitching it, because they can rip open, right?
Yep, absolutely.
So, is that something you taught yourself when you were doing the top, or something you learned with the job?
It's something you learn on the job.
On the job, okay.
And the more you do it, the better you get at it, and then you learn how to, sew different techniques. And be a little more creative with it.
No, are there unlimited types of stitches, or is just certain type of stitches that you need to do?
Well, basically, it's kind of technical, but it's not. It's simple at the same time, but it's not.
Okay.
But when you're sewing on your machine, it goes from the biggest size, which is like 3 stitches per inch. That means there'll be 3 holes per inch.
Okay.
And then the smallest you can go is probably 10 to 12, which we don't normally use. We're normally right around 5 or 6 stitches per inch. Yeah.
And are these sewing machines, right? Are they like up to date, or are they like something that you prefer?
No, they're not up to date at all. The better ones are actually built in the 50s and 60s.
I mean, it's not the fucking leg ones you're pressing down.
No. The motors you can change out on. They just run with a like a fan belt.
So if I went in there, I wouldn't be seeing you on like those Goldilocks.
No, hell no.
Press wheels and shit.
Actually, what are you doing, bro? At my company now, on our big table, we have 2 brand new Seiko sewing machines, which this was the first new sewing machine in the 27 years that I've been there.
So how did it feel getting all that new equipment? Like about time, or like
no? Actually, I hated it at first. Yeah, because they're brand new machines. You got to break them in,
right?
And they come painted, so you got to wear off all that paint to get the machine into that nice comfort zone, so that you're comfortable with it and the way it stitches.
Did you catch yourself going back to your old machine a lot? And no. You had to use it.
I had to use it because 3 of the old machines all took a shit all at the same time. My boss is like, "What the hell are you doing to these machines?" I'm like, "I ain't doing nothing. I promise you, it is not me."
But if you want to sell one, let me know.
Right?
Yeah, that's crazy. So these new machines, they have little kind of more computerized components in them?
No.
All still manual?
We still do manual stuff at work, at our shop anyway. We don't get into the real fancy.
And they have machines like that though, right?
Oh yeah, they do.
They just lay the material down and press a button and
but you're talking the difference of like our machine is $1,500 for just the head, not a table, nothing else. And you're talking the difference of the $1,500 machine and a $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 machine or more. Yeah. So some of them, they can get as high as $12,000.
Because they all basically come with different programs. Or such could do this, so this one could do that.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Because some, like there's a few Audi cars that come with a baseball stitch on the seams.
Oh.
Well, we can't duplicate that. No, we can't duplicate that. I mean,
have you tried?
We could, we'd have to do it by hand.
Oh, okay.
And that's a different ball game altogether right there.
So when you did your first stitching, was it by needle and thread, or did you have a sewing machine, or
it was on a sewing machine? the boss came to me one day and she was like, "How come you're not sewing this truck?" And I was like, "Well, they haven't taught me to sew yet, and I don't think they want me on a machine yet." She said, "Bullshit, get on that car." And I did my first 2 seats in a Dodge Ram pickup.
Nice.
And I haven't looked back.
Hell yeah, that's what's up.
Yep, I've been sewing ever since, and that was probably right around 99.
And the difference between your generation starting off and our generation, you didn't have YouTube, right? You didn't go to YouTube.
No, we had
the now you go to YouTube like, all right, how to, but you guys just had knowledge. Hands-on knowledge.
We had the old guys showing us how to do everything.
YouTube?
And that was which was better than YouTube. I mean, but sometimes they'd be like, "You're a dumbass. I fucking told you 3 times already. You still don't get it." You know, YouTube, you just rewind it a little bit.
It's not all do the back of his head. He rewind and shit. Nah. But yeah, that's cool, man. So how old were you when all this process, like around how old were you?
Oh, I started there when I was 26 and I'm 53 26? Now.
Oh yeah. And was that something that you wanted as a career? Was that your career in mind, or that just something led?
It was never my intention. It just happened.
It just happened. Did you have a career in mind that you wanted to pursue?
Not necessarily. No.
Okay.
No, to be honest, I was selling weed before I got this job.
Hey, you had to get money somehow.
And the best thing that ever fucking happened to me was I got busted.
Oh.
And it forced me to get this job.
Got you.
And I ain't looked back.
Changed your whole life.
Yep, changed my life completely.
Hey, that's what happened, man. I got out of prison and I've been sober for 10 years, been out the way for 10 years, and that's like the best thing that ever happened to me.
Yep.
It sucked, but
it did. At the time, you thought it was the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But you didn't know what blessing it actually was. So
yeah. So that's what's up, man. So you jump into this this game of stitching and upholstery, right? And now, when you brought it, to your family and stuff, did they kind of, "Oh, that's cool, teach me," or, "Oh, that's what's up, do what you gotta do," or they didn't pay no mind to any of it?
For the most part, no, but there's a couple of my cousins that were interested. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but they were already, working on cars and stuff like that. But it never really went past, "Hey, I'd like to learn that someday."
Okay, they never showed up to the appointment. Yeah, that happens, you know what I mean? But so that's cool. Like, if I asked you this, would you be able to tell me how many cars you customized?
Oh, hell no.
No, because you've done so many.
In 27 years? No, I couldn't tell you.
Can you remember the best car you ever stitched up?
Yes. It was a 63 Buick Riviera.
Ooh.
Yeah, the guy's car was like a grayish color.
A grayish color?
Yeah, and I did all gray interior with gold stitching.
Mm-hmm.
And it just came out so nice that even I was in awe of it. I'm like, I couldn't believe I did that. Yeah.
And that's the one you can never just
That's
think
the
about.
One that's always there for me. Because everything came out absolutely perfect on it. There was no loose door panels and no wrinkled seats or nothing. It was just perfect. It took me 3 weeks to do it.
3 weeks?
Yeah, the carpet, the seats, the door panels, the headliner, everything.
Oh, everything. Okay. Damn, that's crazy.
But it was excellent.
And it was worth it.
Yep, absolutely.
Have you seen this car before? Again?
I have not seen that car since.
No? Since that time you stitched it? Was it out of town or something?
I don't even know where the guy was from, because at the time I was working strictly out back. Now I work a little up front, little out back.
Got you.
But at the time I was working strictly out back. And
there was just a random customer came in, did what you had to do, and left. Got you.
Well, a lot of times, there's some cars that come in and it's like, to be honest, I don't care where you found it. I don't care that you found it in some old lady's barn and her husband put it there in 1952. I don't care about that. What do you want me to do to the car? I want to get work.
Tell your whole backstory and shit. Yeah, what do you want
there's guys at the shop and guys that have been through the shop that, they want to know all of that stuff. They'll spend 2-3 hours talking to the customer.
And you're just there
not
with the
even about the damn job.
Jesus. I guess they want you to fall in love with it as much as they're in love with it, to put love into the stitching, maybe in a way.
Absolutely, and I do understand that. You
know, because if I just went in there fucking drunk, like, yeah, whatever, man, I'll see you next week.
Yeah, right.
Just come back and fucking
throw
stitches
me a bag of money.
Yeah, and the stitches all crooked and shit. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, no.
I mean, I know you'll put love into any job that you get, because after that car,
anything worth doing is worth doing, right?
Right, correct.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And like you just said, it's my name on it. It's our company's name on it, which is why some people will come in sometimes and they'll be like, can you just throw a patch on it? I'm like, no. And they're like, well, I don't understand. I'll pay you for it. And I'm like, we don't want to do that. We don't do stuff like that, because then if somebody sees it and go, damn, who fucked your shit up?
Exactly.
Kaufman Auto Glass.
Kaufman Auto Glass.
Yeah, and it's like, well, what the hell? We don't want that shit.
Just take a tone, go get a heat patch, and just
right, exactly.
Hell yeah. So, has there ever been a customer that ever had to return the car with complaints?
Oh yeah, we get complaints.
Everybody
does.
Is it because they're trying to get a little discount, or is something really got fucked up?
Sometimes it's a little bit of both. Sometimes it's not. We, for the most part, at our shop, if we fuck something up, we'll fix it before the customer ever even knows about it.
Right.
Which is what you should do.
And you'll double check your work and everything, make sure before you use.
We go through it and make sure everything's
So when you get a customer that comes back is like, yo, this shit fucked up, and you guys know and guarantee that you guys did not fuck it up, is you guys just kind of like a back and forth thing? Or
a lot of times there's that too, and sometimes we give in a little, because especially if it's a repeat customer. But we don't just replace something that we know we didn't fuck up.
Right.
And that's why a lot of times we'll have pictures.
That's what I was gonna say. How do you cover your ass?
We'll have pictures before the job is started and after the job is finished.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because if you know your carpet's got a big ass oil stain on it when we pulled it in, it's gonna have that big ass oil stain on it when we pull it out.
Exactly.
Unless you got new carpet.
Has any of those customers that came back, did they ever try to threat with like lawsuits or anything? Like, had
we've been sued a few times.
Oh yeah. And you guys got pictures to back up while you work.
Well, it's not only that, but sometimes the judge will be like, "Well, you guys are the professionals. You should know better."
Yeah.
And they always side with the customer.
Yeah.
So sometimes you just can't do anything about it.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah.
So right now, are you still at Kaufman's right now?
Oh yeah.
And how many more years you feel like you have?
Well, right now it's looking like 8.
8?
But
your body's telling you 5.
I'd like to stay 15 more.
Oh, 15? That's a long time.
I'd like to. Well, that brings me to full retirement, but it's looking a lot more like it's going to be an early retirement.
Got you. Now, is that just because you want to spend time with the family and just...
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's, ever since I turned 50, it's weird. Yeah. Ever since I turned 50, my feet started hurting. I had to have surgery on my leg because I had some plantar fasciitis really bad from standing at the table all day or, doing things like that, walking through the shop all day. But right now, it just hurts a lot, but I'm working on that. I'm losing some weight.
But are you able to sit at the table, or does it has to be like a stand job?
No, not necessarily, but a lot of times I prefer to stand and do everything.
Because I mean, you're bending full body type of.
Well, when I'm sewing, it's always sitting down.
Okay.
But when you're tearing apart a seat at the table, you have to pretty much be standing up. Yeah.
True.
It's not really something you can do sitting down.
Got you. So. Is there a point where you realize you're one of those old men when you first started?
Yes, absolutely. Lately, yes. I do realize that I am now the old man.
Old man.
Yeah, and especially when I'm showing some of the younger kids, like a couple of the boss's kids work with us, and when they have questions and I'm showing them it really...
it dawns on you.
Yes,
like, I'm that old man. Now, did you ever get to say, you fucking idiot, you fucked up?
Oh, yeah.
What you doing? Like, hell yeah. I'm about to say that for 20 years, man.
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, that's cool, man. Take the younger generation under your wings and, show them what you know and everything, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Pass the torch and everything.
Well, you have to, yeah. Teach them how to do the things that you do.
Do it right, yeah.
And that's actually rewarding.
It is.
You know, teaching them something, and it's like, especially when they like do their first job and they're sewing and it comes out pretty good, and it's like, damn, I taught them how to do that shit.
Hell yeah. That's what's up. And they're always gonna pass that torch down. And you know, when they're old and they teach someone that they're gonna always bring you up. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's pretty cool. That is something actually to be proud of. You know what I mean?
Yes, definitely.
So you are gonna continue doing upholstery, right? Besides that, do you have any like family trips or any plans coming up with the family to try to relax? Like,
next week I'm taking 3 days to go up north, and it's our my wife and I's 35th anniversary.
Oh shit! Congrats!
Yeah,
that's a long time.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's a long time. Has your wife ever thought about she did upholstery with you before? Or
she helps me occasionally, like. Some of the guys at work, they'll do headliners and they'll do a half at a time. I don't like to do that because sometimes it leaves a crease in the middle of the board, and I really hate that. I'm pretty anal about all that stuff.
Yeah, see.
So I like to do it in one, you know, glue the whole board, glue the whole headliner, and then stick it. So she'll help me occasionally to lay that.
Oh yeah. And has she ever wondered or asked, or does she have a different profession, or did she always think the upholstery, like she ever thought curious of trying to get into that profession, or she was just like, nah, just too much?
No, she just leaves that to me.
Have you ever ran into any carpal tunnel problems doing any of that?
Actually, yes. I had to have surgery. I had to have surgery. I mean, not surgery. I had to have physical therapy.
Okay.
For what they call carpal boss. It's not carpal tunnel. What it is all the tendons for your hand, they move through a sleeve, and that sleeve got inflamed.
Oh man.
And that's called carpal boss. So I had to learn all these exercises, which I still use to this day. Just when my wrists start acting up a little bit, I'll start using those exercises, and now do them more and more. And then it relieves that.
Is that when the 8 years came into mind? Like, yeah,
not so much with the hands. It's the feet.
It's the feet.
Because I'm a walker. Yeah. You know, especially on the weekends when the wife and I go out to breakfast or to lunch.
Got you.
I like to go to a store or go to the malls and stuff and walk it off.
Yeah,
exactly. Yep. So I'm a walker, and I've always loved walking, especially on vacation.
Okay, so but a lot of that walking kind of puts a big effect on your feet when you go to work and stuff.
Yeah,
got you. I mean, because when you're walking, you could kind of bear the pain because you're just moving, walking, whatever. Yeah. But when you're at work, you're in one spot. When you're trying to take the seat off, you're just fidgety in one area, in one spot.
And then you're rocking back and forth, trying to relieve some of the pain on your feet.
I'm getting there, man. I'm like, oh, shit.
But I can recall a time back when the old guys were teaching me, and they were complaining about the same type stuff. And I'm thinking, damn, it sucks to get old. Yeah. Well, now that's me.
Now you understand. Now you get it. So 8 years you have in mind of doing upholsteries. What besides cars? What else have you put upholstery on?
We do lots of boats, motorcycles, campers.
Okay.
We, in fact, about a month, maybe 2 months ago, we redid a couch that turns into a bed in an RV.
Oh, okay.
And we do all kinds of stuff when it involves upholstery. Doctors' office tables, dentist chairs, things like that.
You guys touch everything then.
Yeah.
Is there anything you can remember that was unique that you did upholstery on? Or kind of weird, like a casket pillow or something?
No. I made some pillows for a Mercedes for a guy who wants to pretend it's a Maybach, but
what? For real?
Yeah.
Hey.
But yeah, I mean, we did for Shakedown Street. Joe, friend of mine, he had an RV, and I made some custom limo seats inside that.
Oh, okay.
And not long after it got done, he was out to like Allegan County Fair or something, and Kid Rock used it for his dressing room.
What?
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah, that was pretty cool.
I've done some some celebrity cars.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, a few of them. I mean, not nobody big or anything, but
maybe like a dude that owns Copper Out or something. Like
no, like Murphy Jensen. I don't know if you know who he is, but he was one of the tennis players that won the U.S. or not the U.S. Open, but the French Open or something known in professional.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no.
And he got to the final round with his brother in doubles or something, and they didn't show up for the final round. They went to Scotland fishing instead. I was like, that's a cool story.
Yeah.
And he actually has a kid with Mike Tyson's ex-wife, Robin Givens.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's almost damn near getting close to Mike Tyson, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I told him, I said one time when he came in, I said, hey, Murph, were you ever afraid Mike Tyson was going to kick the door down and beat your ass? That shit was funny.
Hell no. That's what's up, man.
Yeah.
So, you touched every type of vehicle or whatever, random upholsteries. Have you ever sent upholstery to another country? Like, has your job ever touched?
Absolutely. We've done some. There's a guy in town who used to be a local builder. I haven't seen him in a few years, but he's the world foremost expert on Hudsons.
Okay.
And he brought us many Hudsons, and I've done carpet and seats and door panels in all of them. And some of them have been shipped over to Africa or to Russia.
That's pretty sick.
And he sold them online to people in Russia. And people call them from all over the world.
Seeing your work.
Parts and all that stuff.
Man, that's what's up, man. Yeah. That's something cool to talk about. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah. He's a great guy, too. I used to run into him hunting when I'd go up to Nuevo because he had a cabin up in Bill's Lake in Nuevo. But cool guy.
Speaking of hunting, have you ever upholstered like animal skin or anything?
Yeah.
Yeah, like gator, ostrich, all that stuff.
Cow hides, with the hair on it and shit.
What?
Put them on people's like
country
benches.
folks or something?
Oh yeah, lots of, for cabins and shit like that. Absolutely, yeah. We've done sheepskin, stingray.
Stingray,
absolutely. Yeah,
I ain't never heard no stingray.
They're really small though, so we've done a lot of like bicycle seats with them or motorcycle seats. But yeah,
did that kind of skyrocket after that Steve Irwin incident? They wanted to kill the stingrays.
No.
Motherfucker.
Had nothing to do with it.
You know what I mean?
That'd be a cool story, but no.
I never heard of anyone doing a portrait with a stingray. That's something new. That's a crazy story.
Yeah, you were talking earlier about Chico.
Yeah.
Or Francisco, yeah. He, I remember when he got a stingray pelt, and he'd made a wallet out of one.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool, man.
It is.
That's a cool story to talk about. So your upholstery. So I mean, okay, you're 26. You're about to do a convertible, right? You get the job and everything. When you was going to work, was it at first mindset of, all right, I'm going to work for a check? I don't see myself doing upholstery, or you know what I mean?
At first, absolutely.
So what was the moment where you was like, you know what? I'm going to get deep. I'm going to dive deep into this.
You know, I can't really say what specific moment that was, but I can say that after a few years, I got an appreciation for the type of work we did, especially when you step back and you look at a full interior.
Right.
And then when you see the customer pick it up and he's like overjoyed, happy with it.
Oh, okay. So that sparked something in you.
Yep,
you know what? I want to see more of that.
Yep. Absolutely. And then I also learned, like, after 5-10 years that you know, this is something that I can do, and I can do it well. So
yeah, so why not? Why stop now?
Yep, absolutely.
Just keep going.
Absolutely.
That's pretty cool, man. So when you do upholsteries, there's all kinds of designs, right? Is there a main design people go for, like diamond stitching or any type of? Because I know I got some work from you, and it is pretty badass. And I know I don't know if it was like, oh, you want some diamond stitch? I don't know if it's this plain motherfucker. Like,
No,
everybody wants some damn diamond stitches.
No, not
you
at
know
all.
What I mean?
It varies across the board.
Got you.
Yeah.
And you have like a pamphlet or something with options of different designs.
No, for the most part, I just talk to people about
what
it.
they want to go with.
And then I can always bring up pictures of stuff that I've done so that they can see. Yeah.
Okay, got you.
Absolutely.
Now, I remember when I got some work from you was mentioning the thickness of the thread. How is there different sizes?
Oh yeah,
of threads?
absolutely. There's about six, seven different sizes that we use. Yeah.
Now, is it for certain occasions that you would use certain stitching on?
Well, the reason we got into using the thicker threads is because the manufacturers were starting to use thicker threads for contrast stitching on a lot of their factory seats.
And you gotta try to keep up with them.
You gotta keep up with that so that it went, because the majority of the work that we do at Kaufman is repair work more than custom work.
Gotcha.
So when we're repairing things, we have to make it look exactly like it was factory.
So where does the custom come in? Is it like people ask you guys to do it, like going?
Usually the custom comes in when they're bringing old schools to us, because a lot of the customs we can't do now because of the airbags and stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Safety risk.
Which we can still change out an interior, because there's companies like Catskin and Leah Leather, Road Wire Leather, that they all make kits and they have the licensing to stitch airbag seams. So they've gone through all the government testing and all that crap too.
I was gonna say, you ever thought about a customized airbag? Like pop it and they stitch it with some cool ass material and shit.
Yeah.
You get in a car crash, you finally see it and stitch it, like, oh, this ain't bad.
Yeah, I don't think so. I'm sure that the National Transportation Safety Board would be pissed off about that.
You're all fucked up in a car accident, but you're checking out the stitching and shit, like, man, this guy did a good ass job.
Yeah, right.
All fucked up. But yeah, so that's crazy, because those airbags can go off anytime when you're trying to take the seat out or anything like that. It could just blow up in your face type of stuff.
And the thing is that some of them, and we've had to watch videos on it too. If you use the wrong thread on an airbag seam and hinder that airbag even by 1/10 of a second, it's the difference between life and death.
Jesus.
Yeah.
So you guys stood far away from that shit.
Oh,
like, yeah, fuck that. Whatever.
Yeah.
So boats. You guys said you did upholstery on boats.
Yeah.
Now, does that material have to be waterproof, some type of sunburn proof type of stuff?
Yeah, it's mold and mildew resistant, and it also has a sun fast quality, so that the sun just don't bake the shit out of the material, and then it's junk in here.
The old school materials sunburn fast as shit, right? Like a couple of days, you just could see it. Like,
you'll see a difference right away. One summer, and you notice a difference. From the underside and the top side.
So basically, when it comes to a car and a boat, you guys are using different material, different colors, every type of stuff.
Yeah.
And the boats, is it more thicker material, thinner material using, or
there's really no difference in the mill of the material for thickness, size. It's just the way they treat them. Because it's treated. And we do a lot of airplanes too.
Oh yeah.
So with airplane stuff, you have to have a fire retardant on it.
Okay.
And we have to order that material treated already. And it comes with a certificate.
Oh.
And we have to hand off that certificate to the people with the plane, because it has to stick with the plane.
Yeah, because hey, man, this fucking guy burnt up, man. We
get a certificate. How come his whole interior went up like a match?
That's crazy. So, has there ever been like well, my job is called an ITAR, like type of top secret type of shit. Like, have you ever did upholstery for like top secret, like maybe like a jet for the military, something they need some stitching?
Nope.
No,
nothing top secret.
No top secret.
No, we've done like hidden compartments before until we were told we couldn't.
Oh, okay.
But yeah,
I mean, you were just saving lives, man.
Right.
Like, they needed protection, man.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. So you said you remember your first old school or your first classic you did, right? Was yours you was working on, and then that Ford truck, or was it the Dodge? that you
The
did?
Dodge Ram was the first vehicle I did 2 seats on. Yep.
Okay.
And they came out pretty good.
So is there ever a job you did where you wish you could just rip it all back out and restart over?
Yes. Absolutely. And that was my first full interior.
Was that your first?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, I did it for a lady in Kalamazoo.
Now, were you feeling rushed, or was it what was going on?
It was just a very difficult interior, and I hadn't been sewing long enough at that point in my career that I should have been sewing that seat. Because I mean, like, one backrest cover had, I think it was something like 54 individually sewn panels on it.
Oh yeah. Damn.
So there was a ton of stitching on it, and yeah, my lines weren't always straight. But, you know, like I said, I think I was maybe had a year of sewing in at that point. 3 years at the job, but only about a year of sewing in.
Right.
And I got that interior. It still came out great. She absolutely fucking loved it.
But you know every flaw in it.
But I know everything wrong. If I saw that today, I'd be like, who the fuck sewed that?
Right.
Stevie Wonder sewed that?
Hell no.
Yeah.
You probably like, I'll do that for free. I'll replace it. Don't worry, man.
Yeah.
So you said you was 3 years at the job. The 2 years before the 1 year of sewing, what was that? Like kind of greenhorn, learning everything, like kind of apprenticeship?
Yeah,
they
absolutely.
were teaching you material, teaching you sewing, teaching you threads.
Yeah,
different.
at that point, the guys that we were learning from, I think Spider, which his name was Ryan, I think he was the newest guy. The other guys, you know, followed my boss, Perry Kaufman, over from Remus Auto Parts.
Okay.
And Remus used to be the big shop in town. They sold stereos, they did auto glass, they did brakes, they did performance exhaust, they did upholstery, they did everything at Remus. It was your go-to spot. And like everybody from this whole half of the state went to Remus.
What happened?
The guy got old, you know?
Okay.
So then the business went down after his kid took over it, I guess. And everyone started going out on their own and doing their own thing. Like 3 different shops popped up after Remus.
Oh, shit. Okay.
And we're one of them, and we're still around, and the others are gone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah.
Same spot the whole time?
Nope. When I started, we were down across from Godwin Hardware at 3716 division.
Okay.
And now we're at 3015. We moved there in 2000.
Were you guys ever on 28th Street?
Nope.
No? Okay.
Nope. Never on 28.
So you guys Godwin, across from Godwin, and then right here, and you guys been in this spot for how long?
Now 25 years.
25 years.
Yep.
And you guys don't ever plan on expanding? Is it more like a kind of small local shop?
At the time we moved to this shop, we had 3 shops. And there was 3716 division. We had a convertibles and top, you know, carriage top shop on Jefferson.
Yeah.
And then we had sunroofs and auto glass on Plainfield on Rupert.
Gotcha.
And we consolidated all of those into this building.
Yeah. Was it kind of have you went to the other buildings before?
Oh, yeah.
To learn?
Yep.
Was it to learn, or you?
No, I never went up on Plainfield to work, but I did go to Jefferson quite often. But for the most part, I've always worked in the main shop. So.
Okay. Dang. So has any family members ever worked with you?
No.
No?
Nope.
You wouldn't even let them put you as a reference?
No, it's not that. It's not that at all. But, you know, there was only interest from one family member that I could have recommended, but at the time we weren't hiring anyone. So.
Oh, okay. Got you.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
But you know how that goes. You put your name on something and then you have to rely on it. And I don't like to kick my cousin's ass because they didn't show up for work.
Yeah. Hey, where's your cousin? Where's your cousin at? Where's your boy?
Right.
Oh, God. And you're testing like, bro, where you at, man?
Yeah.
No, I get that. So have you ever done any work on any of your family's cars?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. A lot of them. Repair work on a lot of them, yeah.
Okay. And how's that go working with family to a customer? Is there any big difference? Are you still put more love into it? Or
I still do the same job. I give them a good job, only they pay less.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like they pay less, you do less stitches, or is it
right?
You know what I mean?
I'm not putting foam on your seat covers.
And I ain't doing your damn airbag.
Yeah, right. Oh, that light, it was there.
Yeah, it's understandable. No. So have you ever left the shop?
I got Gabe and Anna's Buick Riviera interior on the floor of the garage now. We just have to wait for them to get their body work done and stuff.
Oh, okay.
But,
what year is that?
Be doing that. I think theirs is also a 63 Riviera.
Oh, shit. Hell yeah. Yeah. That's what's up.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you seen what's in the garage and shit, so we're just doing fucking little fun times here and shit. But what was I going to say? Have you ever left state to do a job? Has anyone ever called you? No, it's always been
they've called, but I'm not
like,
going
fuck that. They weren't trying to pay the travels?
No, not at all.
That's crazy. I mean, that would have been cool, like, to go down to Florida, do like a job. Cause I've been watching, like, you ever watch that Rick Ross? I heard about the Rick Ross car shows and how they build cars from ground up, and they like hire different people from upholstery, like different shops from different states. Like, hey, you come help us build.
Yeah,
this car,
they do a lot of TV shows like that where they'll have guys come out and they'll do a car in a week. But
have you ever watched a TV show and looked at their stitching? Like, that's fucking trash.
Most definitely. For real. Most definitely. There's that Counts Customs.
I don't think I watched that on Netflix.
That's the one in Vegas.
In Vegas? Never tried.
He's a guy that have you ever watched Pawn Stars?
Yeah, I watched Pawn Stars.
They use him when they want to rebuild a car that they buy. Okay. Well, he had a Bronco that I don't know if he donated or casino bought it or whatever, and they were giving it away. Yeah, they were giving it away up in Petoskey at the casino.
Okay.
And we were there on vacation, and we went in, and I was looking at it. Oh my God.
That bad?
That stitching was horrible.
That bad.
That stitching was, whoever did that stitching probably should not be doing this job, especially if they've been doing it for a while.
And on TV, right? Because I mean, they had been on TV with them up in their face recording them and stuff.
Absolutely. I mean, I can see how that might be nerve-wracking.
Yeah,
you know, if you got cameras sitting there,
if you've been doing it forever, man, you don't give a fuck who's watching.
It should be second nature, absolutely.
Exactly.
Yep. Shit, I sit at work and talk to the other guys while I'm sewing. Just sewing away. Yeah. So that's crazy. It's like to look at someone else's work. Could you identify like what he might have done wrong or what he did wrong or what he used wrong? Everything to the T. Jesus. And there's shit that comes back that we did 15 years ago, and now it needs to be done again. And I can tell a lot of times who did it by looking at the back side of it.
The like, motherfucker.
Yep. I can tell who did it just by looking at the bottom side of it.
Oh, shit. Everyone has their own type of style.
Everybody does something different. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
And whatever you do different is show that does it show each person's kind of skill level on the way to do it, or they just
say
like
a skill level. It's just little telltale things that they do, and I know they do it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Got you. So you just look at the motherfucker to shake your head like, motherfucker, man.
Sometimes, yeah.
Let me show you how to do this, man.
All right.
That's crazy. So, have you ever done anything besides upholstery? Like any other occupations, anything on the side, or?
Well, I do party tents.
Okay.
And tables and chairs. The wife and I have been doing that 20 years. That came out of necessity.
Okay.
Yeah, because my daughter was graduating and we were going to have an open house for her, and I called around to rent tents and tables, and they were just crazy. So I just bought my own.
Yeah.
And then everyone was like, "Hey, who'd you rent these from?" And I bing, light came on.
Well, welcome to Stan's table. Yeah, right. Yeah. So, how's that been going for you guys?
We've been really busy, to the point where now I wish my kids would take it over, but none of them want it.
Yeah.
So I've been like overbidding and hoping to not get some of the jobs, but I'm still getting them.
Just say 1,000 extra. All right. So, hey, it's a good and bad thing.
Yeah.
I have kids. I understand. I always say, man, I just hope, what I mean, they get that motivation. They're just like, nah, Dad, that's not me. I got a different life to live. Like, okay.
Yeah, my youngest son, Jordan, I had him come over and help me with some boat seats.
Mm-hmm.
And rather than share money with him, I said, this is what I'm going to do, because I had another job. I said, I'm going to let you do those, and I'll guide you along, and you can do those and get the money. He got them done, got the money. He never came back.
Oh, my God. Oh, man.
Yeah, so there's always that. The kids don't want to do what you do.
Yeah. The generation nowadays just, I don't know, something else.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to, it's a kind of handout, like, just give me the money, leave. They don't want to work for it.
Well, honestly, the video game age hasn't helped at all.
No.
And then with weed legal too.
Yeah. I mean,
so let's smoke weed and play video games.
Well, I make TikTok videos on
much.
the fucking subway, trying to get people to pay them to dance on the subway.
Yeah.
TikTok and shit. Like, oh man. Yeah, it's crazy, man.
It is. Very.
So you have the poster now. Is that a 9 to 5, or is that you make your own schedule, or how's that go about?
We work every Monday through Friday from 8 to 5.
From 8 to 5.
Yeah, but then there's times where I have work at home, so then I could be in the garage till midnight some nights.
Shit. So it's like just nonstop work.
Yeah, when I can get it.
When you can get it.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just don't want it, right? You want to relax. You want to relax.
Sometimes where I come home and it's like, I don't want to go work in the garage, but I get my ass up and I go do it.
Right.
Because the sooner it's done, the sooner you get paid.
Exactly. My dad was like, don't fucking bitch about working. Get the job done. You'll forget why you even bitching. Yeah. Because it's already done.
It's done. Yep. About. And then now you're getting paid and everything's good. You can relax. Yeah.
Count your money.
Absolutely.
Yeah. A lot of people don't think like that though. They see work and don't want to do it. They're like, complain about it, and then they do a half-ass job on it.
But they want the money though.
But they want the money.
Yeah.
As soon as they get the money, they forget about everything.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So is you do upholsteries and the customers ask for stitching and certain designs. Is there any type of unique color you came by where you was like, we can't get that color, like any type of color, or you can get them all?
We can't match 100% any color, really. But so unless we order by the factory number. But we do a pretty good job between, the boss and I. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we argue about color tones.
Oh, yeah.
But those are things that are, things that we look at.
Right.
The customer would be fine with either one of them.
Right.
But we'll talk to each other.
You see a little dark tint? No, it's a little light tint. No, it's dark.
Sometimes I can see it and he can't. And most of the time he can see it and I can't.
Oh, okay. So it's just kind of like a little back and forth.
Yeah, absolutely.
So usually when it comes to color, do you already try to have colors already recommended?
Well, we have sample books they can look through. Yeah, sometimes we have customers spend 2 hours looking at colors. Yeah. And material tones, and then there's grain. You got to look at the grain, the color, and the tones.
So I also sometimes you have to be a salesman too, right? Because you got to talk them into like, well, this ain't gonna match your ceiling or your carpet or your floor.
Or
carpet,
if they pick a material that doesn't have any stretch, and I'm not gonna be able to mold your armrest with that material.
It's not gonna stretch the corners and stuff. So you got to become a salesman at sometimes too.
Well, you have to know your shit for sure.
Try to pitch a certain color that you can work with. You know what I mean? It still look good.
Yeah. And then sometimes you have to show them what they don't see, and that's true. Colors that go good together, for contrasting, and sometimes they don't see that.
Yeah.
Sometimes they have an idea of what they'd like.
They have an image already, but when it comes out, it's gonna be all fucking like two different colors and
Absolutely.
shit. Like, like I ain't want two-tone. Well, you should let me suggest something.
Yeah.
So on those books, do they already have the material, like pieces of material they can look at, or it's just a picture? It's actually
it's the actual material. They can feel it, they can look at it, they can see the grain in it, and then on the back of it, there's a number, and there's also that number I was telling you about the double rubs.
Okay, I got you. Has a customer ever stopped you midway of stitching and be like, I want a different color?
Oh yeah.
Oh, how does that go? How does that go about?
We charge them.
You charge them just rip everything out, all the work you guys did.
They know that. Yeah, they know that. Dude, guys come in all the time mid-job and add stuff. You know, you quote them on it, say this is going to be, you know, $2,500.
Yeah.
They come in and they add a carpet. And then they come in and they add, well, I want that package tray in the back window done. And then they'll come and say, well, what, them quarters don't match the headliner. Can you do those? And then you do all of this, and they come back and their bill's $3,800, and they're like, I thought it was $2,500. Yeah, but you added a shit ton of work, dude. Are you kidding me?
I got you. Definitely understand that.
Yeah,
that's crazy. Has there ever been a customer ever come in and was like, hey, I can't afford, I'm not gonna be able to afford this shit. Like, could you guys rip all this shit out?
No.
What would happen if that? Is there a policy like, no, fuck that, we gotta take you to court, or we gotta charge you regardless?
A lot of times, what we do is we'll keep the vehicle or the seats.
Yes.
And they'll make payments on it.
Oh, okay.
And we even do that sometimes where people come in and they'll say,
you
know, yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. I hear that.
The boss will allow it. She'll let you come in and make payments on something, and when you get to a certain point, then you can bring your vehicle, we'll work on it, and then you pay the rest when you pick it up.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Yep. Yeah. So we get guys come in all the time. You know, I got $200 today, and we give them a new invoice, we staple it to the old stuff, put it back in the bill tray.
Okay.
Yep.
And then do you guys give them a type of timeline, like, hey, we're going to be done next week Friday?
Yep.
You know what I mean? Do you guys give it an extra day just to make sure everything's tight and everything's good to go? Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, and sometimes we'll tell them, you know, we'll extend it a week or whatever, and until you can come up with the money or whatever.
Has there ever been time?
We don't like to do that,
right?
It happens.
So you don't necessarily want to have shit in the shop just laying around.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, you need to get out of there, but you still need to get paid for your work and stuff.
Absolutely.
Have you ever had a like, what happens if someone don't come and get the shit? Have you ever ran into that where they never came and got their shit?
Absolutely.
And what did you guys do with the chairs?
In the shop right now that
for how long? How long have they been in?
We've got a freaking brown motorcycle seat that we're never going to be able to sell to nobody.
What?
The guy ain't picked it up in like 6 years.
Oh my God, 6 years?
Yeah.
We just got out in the wall and shit, like a decoration.
It's sitting in the front showroom under one of the tonneau covered displays.
The fuck?
But yeah, it happens. I mean, sometimes we get customers, they'll come in and get stuff done, and then they go to prison.
Oh, okay. That you can't really blame someone for that.
You can't do nothing about that.
I mean, you can tell a family member, hey, I got that shit out the shop for me.
It's not like we take it and we sell it or nothing.
Right.
When they come out in 2 years or a year or whatever, and they come back, hey, you know, I went to prison and I had this interior. Yeah, we got it right here.
Yeah, it's still $3,500.
And then they'll just go ahead and pay us.
Yeah.
It happens.
That's crazy,
cars,
man.
We try to add a storage fee on cars.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So, have you any car seats? Just seats.
Yeah, we've had to actually get a mechanic's lien on one Mercedes.
What?
Yeah, the lady owned like a 501c or something. Well, she ran a 501c, which is a charitable organization out of Chicago. Mm-hmm. And she had a house in like Muskegon or Holland or something, and had us put a top on the car. And it sat there for 3.5 years until we finally got a lien on it. She never answered any of the calls.
Oh my God.
She never even. How do you leave like a $15,000 Mercedes somewhere?
That's
Must be
crazy.
Nice to be that fucking rich.
Right, she'll go buy another one. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So, what's the longest car that ever been sit because someone couldn't come? With like months or
that one
probably just that one, probably that one.
Just that one. I mean, we've had some cars in the shop for 4 or 5 months, but for the most part, that's us waiting on stuff for it, and then they're changing, and then they don't have the money, and then we, you know, we work with them on it. So
is there you got a high seniority there because are you like the longest one that been there?
No, me and Randy,
we top.
Yeah, we've been there. He's been there about 8 months longer than me.
Okay, I mean that's still kind of in the same year. Like, you know what I mean? Was it really? Does 8 months really make a big difference in the?
Well, he does glass.
Oh,
He doesn't do
that's a whole
upholstery.
different. That's a whole different course then.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now with the glass, have you ever tried to help him put glass in?
Oh yeah, I help all the
Now
time.
is that a whole different ball game? Like you gotta be like real careful with that.
That stuff, you got to know that stuff, and you especially like you have to know the primers that work with the urethanes. And if you don't, your windshield could just go flying out, and that's not good for anybody. So you do have to know your shit there too. And then they don't only do windshields; they do door glasses, they do regulators, they do diagnosis when your windows don't work, going up and down, you know, all that stuff.
Okay, that's cool. So you did upholstery, and you help with glass. Is there any other occupations in your company that you kind of put your hands on and thought was interesting?
Well, I running the front counter is interesting because you get to talk to all the customers. Kind of get to know them and stuff. Yeah. That's cool. Talking about our colors so you don't have to deal with the material. Definitely.
Like, yo,
definitely.
I don't look good, man. The green pops your eyes out. You know what I mean? Like,
sometimes I try not to do that though.
Because you don't want to lead them away from their idea.
Yeah, and then they'll say when they don't like it at the end, well, you told me to go with this.
The fuck you said black.
And you know, a lot of times they'll say, well, what do you think about this? And I say, well, it's kind of up to you.
Yeah, it's your car, man.
Yeah, exactly. You're the one that's got to live with it. You got to drive it. You know.
Well, thanks for helping, man.
Yeah,
no, I definitely get that because you don't want to get blamed for anything, and then you have to deal with. Well, I want to talk to your manager because you suggested this, and this shit looks like ass. Like,
yeah.
So you guys have a big showroom, and what are you guys displaying in your showroom? Just all your craftsmanship.
A lot of stuff that we do, yeah.
Okay.
Like, the bench up front. One of the guys that used to work with us, he customized it. It was an old steel case 3-spot bench, and he cut out new foam and he made covers to go on it. And like the first one's made out of leather.
Okay.
Second one's made out of suede. Last one's made out of vinyl. And it kind of just shows you how they deteriorate over time.
Yeah.
Differently, and the upkeep on them.
Okay.
Yep.
That's cool, man. I have to go in there. I don't think I've ever been to Kaufman's. I mean, I know you forever.
Yeah.
I know you for a long ass time, so I didn't think I really had to go to the building.
Yeah, right.
But it would be cool to go check out some of the stuff, you know what I mean, that everybody built and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, we've got like some artwork stuff too that one of the girls that used to work with us, she made like this huge flame out of wood and then inserted into a foam cutout. And she stained it different colors so it actually looks like fire.
That's sweet.
And then cleared it, and it came out really sweet.
Yeah, I gotta check that out.
Yeah.
So, 8 years you see yourself retiring. Hopefully, push for 15, but 18 or 8 is the ideal year of retirement. Your kind of side hustle, the chair rentals and stuff. What do you see yourself doing with that?
That, like I said, I'm trying to slow down on that already.
Are you trying to push it to the family, or if it?
I would love to, but
if it don't go, it's just the end of the era type of thing.
Yeah, and we want to sell the house and get out of the city, get out of the rat race, move up north.
Man. Get away from the city, man.
Yeah,
the city's just crazy right now. A lot of stuff going. Yeah, the world's like on fire right now, and just everyone's just trying to be calm.
Yeah,
we're worried about our fucking custom upholstery right now, and I know.
Yeah,
right. Going to the street.
Yeah, we're having actually one of our worst years in a long time right now.
I could say the same on our job. We, well, not me, but most of the people got down to 36 because of tariffs. So we can't get metal across the borders. People were like are quitting, and they said they never ran into this. I work at Paragon, and they said they never ran into this the whole time they were open for like 40, 50 years. Never ran into a situation like this. I'm like, Jesus.
Well, that goes back to we should be doing that shit here so we wouldn't have to worry about imports or exports.
American made, USA made, made in America.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Type of stuff. But yeah, that's a whole other topic. You could talk about that shit for fucking hours. But Hey, I appreciate you coming on, man. Thanks for opening the road of upholstery and talking about it, man. Yeah.
Thanks for having us.
I appreciate you guys for coming, man. And you know, it's more to meet the eye when you look at interior. You know what I mean? There's so much goes into it.
There's so much that goes into work. Yeah.
And you get those details with, you know, craftsmanship that you put into them. People like you put in more than just material. You put love, respect. You put your whole 25 years into it.
Absolutely.
And you can see it. Thanks for fucking making people happy, man. Making customers happy, enjoying their rides and stuff.
That's the goal. I hope that's what's happening. So
yeah, they're fucking burning their cars. Fuck like, man, what the fuck? I see this on a TV show.
I know you were happy with your interior. I did.
Oh yeah, man. I still love it, man.
Yeah.
I get a lot of compliments on it. You know what I mean? The same color with the car and matching the threading and stuff.
Yeah.
And that was my first ever customized interior, and I was like, yo, this is fucking dope. That's when my girl was like, I gotta talk to him about my 67 colors. Like, he's a busy man. You know what I mean? That's good. It's better to be busy than not.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? That says a lot about you.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? But I think you have someone that says hi, Dad. If you want to say hi to him before we get off.
Yeah. Hi, Summer. I love you.
Yep. You guys, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you guys. Are you taking any work right now?
Oh yeah.
So if you got something you could put out there for them to find you, or so they could look you up?
Yeah. I mean, I don't really advertise.
More Facebook?
It's more Facebook stuff. Yeah.
And you go by just Dan Cavazos.
Yeah.
So if you guys need to put some dope ass interior in those junky ass cars and get ready for it before Metro Cruise, man, he's the guy. You know, he's the one to hit him up. It might take some time because he is a busy man, but he will definitely get back to you and work miracles. But I appreciate you guys for tuning in, hanging out with us. Much peace, much love. Catch you on the next one. Peace out.
Later.